Hi, it's April 1st, so happy magical readathon. This is a vlog. Today, I have some things that I need to get done. I need to decide what book I want to start for the readathon, and I can choose One Dark Window, Night Bitch, The Gate of the Feral Gods, This Is How You Lose the Time War, or Strange the Dreamer, which is my reread. But I do also want to read The Sirens this month for Faye from Books and Chocoholics Book Club. But that isn't technically for the readathon, so I'm going to put that one off for at least a week before I start it. But I have calculated that I need to read 77 pages per day to accomplish everything I want to read this month. Now, is that doable? Yes. If I stop fucking doom scrolling on my goddamn phone, absolutely. Also, my husband texted me right when I hit record, and I just need you to know what he said. He said, "Tell me why I just cut my finger removing stuff at work, and the only damn Band-Aid I can find here is Peppa Pig." And you know what? That's so funny. So I need to really pull myself together. I also need to film a sit down video today. So I'm going to have to throw on some makeup and maybe just make my hair look a little less crazy than it does now. I showered last night, so it's real fluffy from sleeping on it, kind of damp, which you're not supposed to do. But I showered at 8 p.m., right? Maybe 8:30. And my hair was wet until 1 in the morning. I stayed up till 1 a.m. It just doesn't dry. It's just so thick. It doesn't dry. So you know what? It is what it is because I was tired. Which you will notice because I'm already almost done with my first coffee, which is in my Bridgerton cup, by the way. I got this at the Netflix shop once after season 4 came out because I am now obsessed with Bridgerton and I want to rewatch it, but I have books to read. So unfortunately, that will have to wait. But today I also need to, well, I don't need to, but I want to hole punch all of the Orillium papers that I've printed out to put in my school readathon binder. And then I am just going to set that up. That'll be easy. I can just hole punch it while I watch a video or something. But I was thinking if I can get an audiobook, maybe I could hole punch it while I listen to an audiobook. I think I'm going to try to find, actually, let me look because I believe I have credit on Libro FM. Ooh, but I also have Spotify audiobook hours as well. So let me check Spotify. I want to see if Night Bitch. Ooh, okay. How long is it? Okay, this audiobook is only 9 hours. That would really help if I could have an audiobook on the go because then I can have an audiobook, a physical book, and possibly an ebook started by the end of this week. It is the first of the month, but it's only Wednesday. So if I can at least have 3 formats started and in progress by Friday, by the weekend, basically, I think that would be a really good starting place because I'm looking here. It's the first, right? So I've got about 2 weeks until, yeah, actually I have 2 weeks from today until my in-laws come. So if I can I really need to get just over halfway, if not 60% into my entire TBR by the time they get here. Because I have a feeling once they get here, my reading is going to drastically slow down. I'm going to be struggling. This is a challenge. This is going to be a challenge because they'll be here for 5 days, I think. And I don't think I'll do much reading during those 5 days. I mean, possibly, but I don't want to say I will and then I disappoint myself, So I think, the first weekend here. Also, my son, I just remembered, my son has Friday off of school because it's Good Friday because of Easter on Sunday, but they also have Monday off of school. You don't need 2 days off extra for Easter. Easter's on a fucking Sunday. And also, I'm not religious and it pisses me off that we have religious holidays off of school. I guess Christmas is also technically a religious thing, but they just call it winter break. So, they have spring break and they have winter break. So, that makes sense to me. I don't understand why we need Good Friday off. But anyways, we're not taking Eid off, are we? We're not taking Ramadan off, are we? The fucking Christian-ass capitalist bullshit country. Anyways, I'm getting aggravated. Yeah, I'm blabbing because I'm stressed. I'm blabbing because I'm stressed and I have a lot to read. I did, obviously, I was already partway into The Gate of the Feral Gods, but I am going to restart it. So I'm going to hit right now, mark as unread. Mark is unread. That skedoodled away. Okay, great. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm a little bit stressed out right now. I don't know what to pick. What do I have on ebook? Do I have any of these on ebook? I have The Gate of the Feral Gods on ebook, obviously. I don't think I have any of the other ones on ebook. Night Bitch is available on Spotify, so I'm going to at least give that a chance and listen to like 1 or 2 chapters to make sure that I like it. So, and I won't have to use a credit on Libro FM to listen to that. So that means I just need to pick like a physical read because I only have one ebook. So I'm going to have to read physically regardless. So I'm going to have The Gate of the Feral Gods, Night Bitch. So that's like a lit RPG and a horror. So I feel like maybe I should do my reread as well. Maybe I should start Strange the Dreamer first. Although I did post a poll in Gavin from Gavin Reads It All's YouTube membership Discord, like which magical readathon book I should start first. And there's a tie between The Gate of the Feral Gods and One Dark Window. So maybe I should pick up One Dark Window because I am going to try to do the multiple format method to get myself through things faster. So since those are tied, I guess I'll pick up One Dark Window. I think that's fair because those are definitely still 3 different genres. So I feel like I'll be fine. Okay, so now that that's decided, I'm going to go listen to this audiobook and hole punch these papers. Then I'll go hang out with my dog for a little bit. Maybe I'll read One Dark Window. I'm sure he's going to want to go outside, so I could read out there. And then I'm going to have to get ready to film a sit-down video. Today, I don't know if it will be very exciting. And this week is also short, obviously, because we're starting on a Wednesday. So I don't know how long this particular vlog will be. I will try to make it interesting because it's Magical Readathon and I want it to be fun and magical and whimsical.
I've been debating.
Also, his tracker's not on because the battery was dying. I had to charge it. Oh, you saw it pop up. Good morning. It's 10 a.m. on April 2nd. I don't think I updated yesterday, like a talking clip after I was telling you everything I needed to do that day. But I did accomplish everything I needed to do. I need to edit that video that I filmed today, but that shouldn't take me too long because I started it yesterday. But I wanted to give you a reading update. I did actually listen to Night Bitch on audio. I listened to the sample first and I like the narrator's voice, so I just went ahead and played that on Spotify. I got to part 2 because there are no chapters. It's like literally like part 1, part 2, part 3, and I think that's it. There are no chapters. So I did listen to the entirety of part 1, which was like honestly like 3 hours worth of the audiobook. But that's page 89. So I got to page 89 of this yesterday, which is great. Because if you remember, I think I said I needed to read 77 pages per day to meet, like, to officially read everything I want to read in April. So that's including the Magical Readathon books as well as the book club book for Fae. And I do think I also told you that I was going to, or that I did post a poll in Gavin's Discord about which book to start first. And Dungeon Crawler Carl 4 and One Dark Window were tied for that. But right at the end, one last person voted. And so One Dark Window did officially win that poll. So I think I will have this as my physical read and I'll start this physically with my eyes. I will read Night Bitch on audio, but I will also be reading Gate of the Feral Gods on ebook. So I'll have these 3 on the go, but given that it's the middle of the day and I'm not gonna do anything today, I'm so tired and I feel like I did a lot yesterday. Filming wise, I filmed a long video, a really long video. Well, it took me a long time to film. It probably won't be that long when I edit it, but it took me the footage was an hour long. It was an hour long sit down video for me to physically film it just because I kept jumbling my words up a lot and it was just my own fault that it took so long. But there was also just a lot of stuff that I did around the house yesterday in the morning. So I think I'm just gonna literally let myself be a bum today. I'm going to probably pop on some like nature sounds or ambiance on the TV. And I have Mr. Waffle here with me, who I don't know if you can see. And he's having oh, there you go. You can see him now. He's having a little snooze. So we're just going to hang out on the couch. I got myself Dunkin' this morning because, like I said, I'm just really fucking tired. Like, I went to bed at 12:30 last night and I slept until 6:30. Riley slept until like 6:45 today, which was honestly great because to be perfectly honest, he refused to go to bed last night and he was up till like 8:45, which is late for him. So I was worried that he was going to also wake up super early and then be cranky all day. But I'm just going to put on some ambiance and then start One Dark Window. I will listen to the audiobook of this at least a little bit today. It's just kind of difficult because, like I said, there's no chapters. So I might have to like follow along maybe or keep the book nearby so I can stop it at a page break, because let me see if I can find one real quick. Okay, so see here, like there's a page break and then it starts a new paragraph in bold. That's kind of like the next part, but there like literally isn't a chapter. There's no chapters. It's just part 1, part 2, part 3. Also, look how cool this bookmark is that my husband got me. He actually went to MegaCon in Tampa, I believe, and then Comic-Con in Kansas City. And the cast of The Lord of the Rings was there. He wasn't able to, there's some kind of truck backing up outside. I'm sorry if you can hear that. But he wasn't able to get the cast's signature or anything, but he did send me a picture of Gimli. That was wild. I can't believe my husband was in the same fucking room as the hobbits. Crazy. But he got me this cool bookmark. And he also did get me a Funko Pop that is signed by the voice actor for King Boomy. I'll show you the pop later. But if you are an Avatar The Last Airbender fan, like how crazy is it? He's King Boomy, and I think he's also Sokka's dad in a flashback. Either that or the Cabbage Man. I can't remember. But isn't that crazy? Yeah, I wish it was Dante Bosco, but it is what it is. But yeah, isn't it so pretty? It's leather and it's like embossed with this like gold leaf. It's really beautiful. Is it real leather? I actually don't know. I think based on the smell, this is real leather. Sorry, if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, because there's a dead cow in my book. So that was my progress from yesterday, and I feel like that's good. Like I made good progress. Let me see how long the audiobook says is left. I was listening on 1.6 times speed, so like I mean, I could speed that up if I needed to, but I don't really feel like I need to. Oh my god. So part 2 itself has 2 hours and 33 minutes left, and the entire audiobook has 5 hours and 31 minutes left. So there's like 4 chapters left. The chapter called part 2, which is 2.5 hours, a 16-minute chapter, another 2-hour chapter, and then a 30-minute chapter. So I'm going to have to listen to the whole chapter. I don't want to like break it up if I'm not supposed to break it up. And it's also hard to tell where to stop when you're on the audio and not in the physical book. So maybe I won't listen to it today. I was actually going to bake some sourdough today. I took my starter out of the fridge last night, let it warm up for a little bit, and then I fed it, and it's on the counter now, and it looks really good. Like it looks ready to go, but like I'm honestly just really tired today. So I don't think I'm going to do that today. Maybe I think my husband said he was coming home early today. So if he comes home early, maybe I'll do it after lunch, because then I can do stretch and folds and he can go to the bus stop and stuff. But for now, I'm tired. So I don't want to do that at this moment. But yeah, I just wanted to give at least a little bit of an update. I also did hole punch those papers and set up my binder, which I didn't record because at the time my camera was dying. So I had it plugged in charging. But it looks really cute. I'll show you later. I also kind of decorated my character sheet page just because I wanted it to look like magical and cutesy. And then I also kind of have like a reading tracker page where I have the title of each book with like a bar that I've divided up into 4 sections. And then I have it like 0%, 100%. So I can just kind of like visualize how much of the readathon I've completed each. I would probably update it every day or every couple of days just to keep myself on track and to keep myself motivated to like keep going. And yeah, so I don't know, I'm gonna do that. This dog is straight pooped. Like, look at him, my little baby. Just a sleepy baby. But I will give you an update later after I've read this, or, read some of it, and let you know my initial thoughts. I didn't even tell you if I was enjoying Night Bitch. This is very much so a metaphor for losing yourself in motherhood, postpartum, basically feeling like, you are no longer your own individual person because you're just a mother and a wife. Like there's always somebody who needs something from you. Your husband comes home and expects dinner and the house clean. Your kid constantly expects that whatever you're eating, you'll share with them. Whatever you're doing, like they're, like entitled to that as well. Like they just feel like they're entitled to your time and your space and your energy. And it's just so hard to find and carve out time for yourself and like have an individual personality. And it is very much so like metaphorical for that. And there have been so many good points in here so far. It is a lot of discussion. Like it's not, the whole book is kind of a metaphor, but like the book itself, the writing itself is not that metaphorical or that like flowery. It is very much so like this internal discussion where she's like, experiencing these things and comparing these things. I like half wish that I had started to read it physically because I kind of want to annotate it. But I think that this is a book that I can reread and annotate. Obviously I own it. I can reread it and annotate it whenever I want. But I think just absorbing it first is really going to make the reread / annotation process like easier, because there is just so much, like already just 89 pages into this book. Like there have been so many quotes that I want to underline and so many things that I find so relatable. So it's really good. But there is also kind of this like weird supernatural horror thing that's going on where she's like experiencing these weird symptoms of like being a dog. She like has the urge to howl at things. She starts wanting to buy like a lot of raw red meat, as you can see on the cover. She feels as though she's grown this nub on her, like Huffle just growled in his sleep. I don't know if you heard that. She feels as though she's grown this nub on her tailbone and it wags when she's happy. And she's also got like fur growing on her neck. So like, there's definitely like more to the story than just like this metaphorical think piece. There is this horror element slowly creeping in, and I'm really interested to see how that plays out. Like, is it going to go full on into that? Like, is it going to go full into that? Like, is it really going to lean into that like horror aspect? I don't know. I'm excited to find out. I don't know what's going to happen from here, but I also really just love this. It's kind of like a thought spiral. I feel like I'm really just babbling right now and I'm word vomiting, and I'm sorry about that. But this entire book kind of feels like a downward thought spiral. It is a linear, like it is kind of linear. We're following her thoughts as she's also going about her life, and it's just her being very introspective and like highly aware of the female oppression she's experiencing, and the patriarchy and anti-feminist propaganda, aka the patriarchy in general. So yeah, I'm really loving it. I'm definitely intrigued to see where it goes. I will say, if it continues being what it is now the entire way to the end, I might like be just a smidge disappointed, because I would really love it to kind of lean into that horror aspect and allow the horror to kind of like emphasize and continue that metaphorical like conversation. So I am just really hoping that it does lean into the dog, the turning into a dog aspect. But yeah, this book is taking me by surprise, which is great. Although I should say I'm not surprised, because I've heard amazing things from literally everybody who talks about it. But I also feel like not that many people talk about it. But yeah, this is now apparently a movie, and I didn't know that, and I need to look it up, and I want to watch it. So I'll watch it after I read the book. Obviously, I'm not going to watch it now. I was also contemplating doing like a pages left counter in the corner of my videos, since I am weekly vlogging and I'm trying to read at least 77 pages per day. I thought it might be fun to do like a pages remaining counter. So editing Rachel, you'll have to do a tally for yesterday, like of the total pages for all the books. And then you'll have to do minus 89 for Night Bitch. Bing, right there. Okay. But yeah, this is now a 20-minute update for me. I'm gonna edit it down so it's not 20 minutes for you. But I'm gonna go watch some just nature sounds. I'm gonna read some One Dark Window. I really hope I like this because it's my book club book. I do also later today need to set up the forum post on my Discord for this. I have not done that yet. And then I do also need to edit that video. So let me get started with what I need to read. Hopefully I can hit the 77 page mark in here. That would be great. And then if I have time, I can listen to the audiobook a little bit. We'll see. You fucking bitch. You fucking bitch. Oh, I fucking heard a bee. I fucking heard a bee. Waffle, I can't be out here that long. Good morning. It's the next day. It's 11:11. Make a wish. It is Friday the 3rd. And yesterday after I updated you, I just like literally was having the weirdest day. Like I did not feel good. Uh I don't know. I was just like in such a weird mood. I felt like such a zombie. Could not open. Also, I'm sorry about the lighting. It's bright at the window. Can I fix that? Okay, that's a little better. I was in just such a weird mood and felt like a zombie, and I was like literally just so tired, and I could not force myself to read much like at all. So unfortunately, I am behind. I'm behind on my pages goal, but I got to page 16 in One Dark Window. Um I'm like intrigued, but I don't know. The setup is it's almost a little confusing, and it is first person, which I don't always love. It's like fine so far, but I'll let you know if I start to get like cringed out by it at all as we go on. I did not listen to any more of Night Bitch on audio, so technically I only read these 16 pages yesterday. Now, if you consider the fact that on April 1st I read 11 pages extra in Night Bitch, and then yesterday I only read 16 pages. I think you add them, 11 plus 16 is 27. So I'm only 50 pages behind schedule because I need to read 77 pages a day to read everything I want to read, including the book club book for the Sirens. So I'm going to do my best today to at least read the 77 that I need to, but it's supposed to rain literally all day tomorrow, so I have a feeling I'll be able to get a lot of reading done. Hopefully in these two books. But I woke up this morning and I was like drenched in sweat, and I sat up in bed, immediately got a headache, and then my nose started to bleed. So I'm just like, I don't know. I think like because I'm almost 36, if you don't know. I'm almost 36 years old. I'll be 36 in August. And I just feel like I'm really heading towards premenopause, which is just fantastic because I feel like 36 isn't that old. So like, why am I having these symptoms? Anyways, I have something to unbox. I ordered a MacBook Pro. This is not the MacBook. I ordered a MacBook Pro because I am about to pay off. Actually, I should probably do that here this weekend, or maybe Monday. But I am about to pay off a giant loan, a private loan, and it is the last thread binding me to my mother. And once I pay off this loan, I never, ever, ever have to worry about contacting her again, because once a year I do have to contact her to refile for my income-based repayment situation. I just feel as though my father would root for me to be free of that bitch once and for all. So since he left me a lot of life insurance money, I'm using it to erase that debt financially and get rid of that bitch once and for all. So I bought myself a MacBook as a present, for like a congratulations present for paying off that loan and getting rid of her forever. So I bought a laptop bag to carry it in. So let's peek at it. I don't know if I'll keep this. Obviously, I'm gonna have to see if I like it first. But I looked for like a couple of days. Oh, I'm gonna open this and then talk because it's gonna be loud. Okay, so I looked for a couple of days at different bags, and I don't know, I was having trouble finding one I liked because a lot of my like outfits are like super casual, so I didn't want to get anything like too fancy, but I did also want something like kind of cute. I have this little it's called the Arlo, I believe, and it's from Hello Cleo. It's like a Kindle backpack, which obviously I don't have a Kindle, but use it for my Kobo. because it has like a e-reader pocket, and it's like super cute, and that's kind of like my purse because it's small and it's just big enough to fit like my water bottle, my Kobo. I have plenty of room for like my wallet, like a little notebook, whatever else I need to stick in there. And it's also got a cute pin display pocket in the front. So I have a lot of cute pins displayed on there. And I don't want to like get rid of it. So I didn't want to get like a laptop backpack because then I would have to like swap it out for that one. So I looked for like a work bag instead. And the backpack I have is like a very pale beige, and it's called the iced coffee color, right? So I got this bag, which I'll show you here in a second, which what's happening? So I got this bag, which I cannot get off the tag, because the color was called like coffee something. And they're not at all the same color, but I think they'll match. They're different enough that they won't clash, but they're similar enough that they will match. Does that make sense? Here you go. It's a cute little laptop bag. I did kind of want one that was like, had one of those bottoms that's like hard, so it stands up on its own. But all of the ones that had that as an option were like way too like fancy. Like they were like leather, and I was like, I don't want a leather bag because I'm not really like a fancy person. Like even this is like a little bit fancier than I would normally want. I do like these water bottle pockets on the outside though because they're stretchy. So you can fit any size, you can fit pretty big bottle in there, which is nice. And then it's just got a big laptop compartment, like a smaller compartment. Is that even gonna fit my MacBook? I got a 14-inch MacBook. Is that gonna be big enough? I thought I ordered this in the right size. I could have been mistaken though. Okay, but the main reason I got it was because the top zips shut. I don't like having a bag where it's kind of just left open, but it's got some pockets in the front. It also has like a luggage thing where if you're traveling, you can like stick it on your luggage when you're wheeling it around. This little tassel comes off. I might take that off to make it more casual. Let's see. This little thing. It's like a bow, I guess. It's kind of bent out of shape because it was all squished up in the packaging. Okay, so the bow is a little bent out of shape. Maybe I can like stretch it the other way. I mean, it's cute, but it does kind of make this look a little fancier. So if I take that off, it looks a little more casual. But I just wanted to grab something to put my laptop in. So if I ever go like to a coffee shop to edit, or if we're traveling to edit, then I'll have something. Also, this was supposed to have, am I fucking tripping? This was supposed to have a strap, like a detachable strap. Did they send me the wrong one? Because the one that I got was supposed to have a strap to be like a shoulder, like a messenger bag. Like, I don't want this. As a matter of fact, you know what? I do think they sent me the wrong one. I was looking at this one, but the one that I was looking at, like the one that I actually purchased, should have had the detachable shoulder strap option. Okay, well, I guess I'm returning this because it looks like the one I picked out, but it's not. I don't know if they changed the design of it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look because that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right. I definitely wanted the like shoulder messenger bag. I definitely wanted the like shoulder messenger strap thing that came attached. That's annoying, but that's okay because my MacBook's not here yet, so I have plenty of time to exchange that. I guess that's fine. So as of right now, my husband, I think, is eating his leftovers from dinner last night. It's not really lunchtime, but I guess he was just hungry. And I think he said he was gonna nap on the couch. And my son is just playing the Switch, so I probably can go read on the couch for a little while. I would read outside, but we just really have like a wasp problem. And it sucks because I want to like go out there with Waffle and Riley and go sit and read, but like the wasps are an issue. That's kind of annoying. But I was just thinking that if I want to catch up on my reading goal for today, editing Rachel will have to correct my math if it's wrong. The first day I had 11 extra pages. Yesterday, if you add those two together, I'm 50 pages behind. So the 16 plus 11 is 27. Yeah, I'm 50 pages behind. So in order to hit my reading goal for today, I would need to read that 77 plus 50, which I believe is 127 pages today, which is like so doable. I just need to stay off my phone. I doom scrolled so much yesterday. It was god awful. Actually, let me just embarrass myself. Can I look at my screen time? Oh, yeah. Today. How do I look at yesterday's day? This is bad. I told you I wasn't feeling good and I just like could not focus on reading, but look at my screen time yesterday. Oh my God. I was on Instagram for 8 hours. Are you kidding me? That's insane. I was on YouTube for an hour and 55, which is fine because I feel like watching videos is not the same as doom scrolling. I don't like scroll shorts the way that I do scroll Instagram. Yeah, literally. I was on Threads for 49 minutes, which isn't a long time. Messages like texting for 15, Discord for 11, Snapchat for 8 minutes. Wow. Yesterday I had 227 notifications. That's crazy. What the fuck? Oh my God. Okay, that's insane. Can I like add limit? Look, we're gonna add a limit right now for Instagram and I'm gonna make that limit 45 minutes. So if I go over 45 minutes of Instagram today, it should look 5 minutes remaining. Oh my God, it's noon and I only have 5 minutes remaining of Instagram. That's crazy. Okay, we're gonna leave the limit because I want it to annoy me and make me feel bad about my life choices. Imagine how much of this book I could have read in 8 hours if I wasn't on Instagram. Probably could be at like 90% of the way through this book by now. Oh my God, that is so bad, Rachel. Rachel Marie, that's bad. Why would you do that? Okay, without further ado, I'm gonna go read on the couch and take it easy. I already showered this morning because I woke up not feeling great, so I showered before I had breakfast. But I literally cannot believe my screen time yesterday was over 12 hours. That's insane. What am I doing? Actually, I am going to look on Amazon quick and see why they sent me the wrong one and then order the right one and return that one. So I'll do that quick and then I'm off the phone. I promise. If I come back and tell you I lied, you need to unsubscribe and dislike the video. Hi. Right now I am waiting for a batch of dough, a batch of sourdough to finish bulk fermenting. I think it has like 30 minutes until it's ready. It's like almost there, but it's just a little sticky. But I listened to quite a bit more of Night Bitch today. I'm 70% of the way into that now. And I've read 2 chapters of One Dark Window, which were kind of short. But like reading physically is hard for me. And I'm also really tired. It's only like 8:40 though. I'm just kind of being a grandma these days, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to give you an update. I have read more. We went to the post office today. I had to mail a check in the mail I needed tracking for. And then we just kind of all hung out together. And I did my stretch and folds and I got my dough ready earlier this morning and stuff. But yeah, I'm like really tired. I'm just not feeling great these days. The last like 2 days. And I just feel like maybe I'm coming down with a cold. I don't know. Should I drink more water? Do we think if I start chugging water, I can't tell if there's something on my lens or if it's just a glare. Hopefully it's just a glare. But yeah, I'm waiting for my dough to be ready. I probably should read, at least try to read one more chapter of One Dark Window. Today I'm not hitting the 127 pages I needed to read today to make up for not reading 77 pages yesterday. I may or may not have to like try to find one of my other reads on audio. I don't really want to listen to the sirens because from what I remember of Wayward, like the writing is quite whimsical and lyrical. I wouldn't really call it flowery because it's kind of hard hitting, but it is like a lyrical-ish, more poetic writing style, and I prefer to read that with my eyeballs. Same thing for This Is How You Lose a Time War, and I don't really want to get the Dungeon Crawler Carl audiobook because it is an Audible exclusive, and I don't want to support Audible. I would love to buy it on Libro FM. And I think honestly, like that's it for what I'm reading. Night Bitch, I'm listening to on Spotify. I mean, I could try to get the One Dark Window audiobook on Libro FM, but maybe I'll try it on Spotify first because I think Night Bitch one is only like 9 hours. So I should have 6 hours left over of audiobook time this month after listening to all of Night Bitch. So like maybe I could do it that way. And I don't know. I'm not like super gripped by One Dark Window yet. Like the last chapter I read definitely did kind of pique my intrigue a little bit. But I was kind of hoping that it would start off like super duper like engaging and interesting. So I would like want to fly through it. And that's just not the case. It's definitely a little bit more of a slow build, which is fine. Like I'm not saying it's bad. I haven't read enough of it yet to decide if I think it's bad or not. But I do just think that like it is a little bit more of a slower build up. And yeah, like I said, that's okay. So I guess I'm gonna, how much time? Let me check my timer. There's 29 minutes on my timer for my dough to check my dough again. So maybe I'll just go sit on the couch for a few minutes and try to read at least one more chapter of One Dark Window, because honestly, like I think I want to just shape my dough, clean up my mess, which I don't really even want to clean up the mess, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't want to do anything right now. But yeah, I'm gonna shape my dough, clean my mess, and I honestly kind of just want to lay in bed and either watch TV or play Pokopia. I'm not, or both. I could do both at the same time. I don't know. I'm just feeling really weird. I had my period last week, so like it's not that, which is like leading me to believe like I'm coming down with a cold or something. Or maybe I'm just burnt out. Maybe I'm just burnt out. I did so much pre-filming when my husband was on his 2 work trips. So for half of March, I was solo parenting and pre-filming for April. And I'm not gonna lie, I think I burnt myself out a tiny bit. So I'm not gonna. I think my best chance for success for the readathon will be maybe this week I'm just behind on my page goals and kind of like let my batteries recharge, so to speak. And then and then I will hopefully make up for it in like next week. My in-laws are coming the 15th to the 20th. I think earlier I kept saying the 10th to the 15th and that was wrong. It's the 15th to the 20th. So I have a little extra time until they get here, which is fantastic. Also, I have this tracking my face because I was originally going to walk around with the camera in my hand, but then I decided I just wanted to lean on the counter instead. So sorry if that's bothering you. I could turn it off. Is that better? Also, I think my husband's upstairs and he left both of his drinks down here. So I'm about to yell at him to come and get them. I also have some video clips like I need to edit. Like tomorrow, I really hope I could get some editing done. I have a clip to edit for Faye, which is like a top secret thing that you won't know about until she posts whatever that is she's posting. But I mean, I don't have to. She's not like hounding me or anything. I want to get it done for her because it was kind of like my idea. It was my idea and I just want to do it. So I want to do that. I also need to edit part 2 of my book scavenger hunt, which should be up after this vlog. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. I'll link part 1 in the card wherever that goes. If you haven't seen it yet, it was really fun and I think you should watch it. But I don't know. Does anyone else like, is it burnout? Like, is it, I don't know. I've not felt like this before where I'm just like, I'm just tired, but like, I don't feel like I'm sick, but I feel like maybe I'm getting a cold because why else would I be so tired? Like I just had my period, so it's not that. I've had water and coffee today. I've had food today. Like, what else? Like, I mean, I haven't really been sleeping like a lot. I mean, last night I think I slept for 7.5 hours, which is a lot for me. So, like, I should feel fine right now, honestly. But I think maybe it's just burnout. I don't know. I think I'm just burnt out. I think I'm just burnt out. It's supposed to rain like all day tomorrow. I think I'm gonna try to wake up early and make sourdough discard chocolate chip pancakes for my family. And then I'm gonna try to encourage my husband to mow the lawn first, early thing in the morning before the rain starts, because the lawn is a problem. We have a lot of dandelions and these random violets that keep growing in our lawn, and these like daisies that keep growing in our lawn, and like they're beautiful and I love them, but also they're attracting a lot of wasps and we are having a wasp problem right now. Like it's not good. It's a little bit of a nuisance. And I am allergic. And also I have a phobia. So, kind of need that to not be a problem right now. I'm just blabbing actually at this point. And now there's only 24 minutes left on my timer, so I'm going to shut the fuck up. I'm going to go try to read one more chapter before I shape my dough. I probably won't get any B-roll of my dough for you because I'm just so tired. I'm so sorry. I feel like this vlog is going to be the worst vlog I've ever done. Like, I just think because I'm feeling like weird about everything in my life right now. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm just feeling like off kilter, I guess. I don't know. So this vlog probably sucks. I'll update you maybe again tonight before I go to bed. If not, I will update you again tomorrow because, like I said, it's gonna rain. So I'm gonna try to have a reading day and fix the fact that I'm already behind on day 3 of the readathon. Hey, good morning. I don't even know what day it is. It's Saturday. It's April 4th, and I did read quite a bit yesterday. I think I technically read the 77 pages that I needed to read yesterday, but I did not make up for the 50 pages behind I am. So I'm on page 167 of Night Bitch. I am still really enjoying it. I think I maybe zoned out a smidge on accident in the middle of this, the last part that I read here, because I'm not entirely sure what happened, in one area, but, I think it's a book I'll reread in the future, so I'm not, like, gonna stress over the fact that I perhaps missed something, but I don't really have much more to say about it. It is still kind of the same thing, but obviously, like, the plot is progressing, so I don't want to spoil the major plot for you there. But it's still very relatable, still very feminist vibes, still very metaphorical for life as a mother. And then I got up to chapter 4, which is page 38 in One Dark Window. The last like 2 chapters I read were a little bit shorter because I think yesterday before I updated you, I only read chapter 1. So no, chapter 4 was longer. I felt like it was 2 chapters because I stopped in the middle of the chapter because I was baking my bread stuff. But so I'm on chapter 4, which is page 38 of One Dark Window as well. I think the last chapter that I just read, chapter 4, ended with like a little bit more of a hook to kind of intrigue me in the story, which is nice. So I think if we add, what did I just say? 167 and 38 together. That's how much I've read so far in the first 3 days of the readathon. 167 plus 38 is 205 pages, but if I do 77 times 3, I should have read 231 pages by now. So like I'm a little bit behind, but not that bad. So I wish there was like a way to see your history here. Is there? Oh, history. So 231 minus 205. So I'm only 26 pages behind my goal for like the 77 per day, which is actually not bad. I'm so glad that I was able to listen to more of the audiobook yesterday. I do actually have a very last minute eye doctor's appointment this afternoon at like 2:45 because I don't think you're going to be able to see, but actually you can't. Do you see that white spot? Nope, it's focused on my face. Do you this is such a look at my eyes. Hello. It's probably not going to focus, but if you see here, there's like this, it looks like a smudge on the rim there near the like near the arm. That is actually not a smudge. That is the glass itself on the inside cracking. So yeah. And before that gets too bad and like, the whole fucking lens cracks, I scheduled an appointment today to get my eyes looked at to get a new prescription so I can buy new glasses today. And they do take about 2 weeks to be made and ready for pickup. So hoping this will last me 2 more weeks. I'll just have to try to be really careful with them, which means keeping my face very far away from my husband, my son, and my dog because all 3 of them accidentally smush my glasses literally all the fucking time, which is annoying. But right now, I just preheated the oven with my Dutch oven inside so I can bake the 2 loaves of bread that I prepped yesterday. I look a mess, by the way, because this is how I looked when I woke up. So we're just going with it for now. I will probably try to make myself look a little more alive before I go to the eye doctor. But it did start raining way earlier this morning, so before my husband even got a chance to cut it, which is kind of frustrating because now it's soggy, so I'm not gonna make him go cut the lawn when it's soggy. But my goal for today is to catch up to the page goal. Okay, so I have to read 77 plus 26. Is that what we said? Do you guys remember? 77 plus, yeah, 26. So I have to read 103 pages today, which means I will probably be finishing Night Bitch on audio, which will give me, how many pages read will that give me? One moment, I'm flipping to the back. It's 238 pages total, and I'm on what, page 167? So 238 minus 167 is 71 pages. And then what did I just say? I need to read 103. So I need to read 32 pages today of One Dark Window. That's totally doable. And then I think what I'll do is finish Night Bitch today, read the pages that I need to read in One Dark Window. If I'm like enjoying it, I will read more. I'm not going to cut myself off, you know? It's just the minimum. I can always read over my goal. But I think tomorrow I'll start The Gate of the Feral Gods on ebook because that will be a lot faster to read physically with my eyes than this one. I just read faster on the Kobo. I don't know if it's because the font is higher or if it's just because it's like a lighter weight thing, or like I also have the font, like the font itself is different. So I don't know, but I'm gonna do that. And then my son has Monday off, but my husband does have to work Monday. So I feel like Monday I won't get as much reading done. So I'm kind of hoping today I can catch up to the goal. And then tomorrow I'm hoping to read at least like, I don't know, if I could read like 100 pages tomorrow as well, because then I'll be like, what, 23 pages over the goal or whatever, just to kind of give myself a little head start for Monday. But then he goes back to school Tuesday, so I should be able to like read more. But this vlog will end Sunday, so you won't see that. But I will let you know Sunday, obviously, before I end the vlog, if I met or exceeded the daily goal. Like I said yesterday, I feel like this vlog is kind of just a little bit all over the place because I had been feeling weird. And you know what? Yesterday in the evening, I did see on Instagram that today is like a 4/4 portal day, and that apparently today is like a reset day for Leos. I'm a Leo, and apparently I didn't know this, but the reel that I saw, this lady was talking about how like she literally introed the reel and was like, Leos, if you've been feeling stuck or weird the last few days, that's because 4/4 is a portal day and it's like a major cosmic reset for Leo energy. And I was like, wait, that's so crazy actually, because I'm a Leo and I've been literally feeling so weird for like the last 2 days. And I'm not gonna lie, today I do feel a little bit better, like energy wise. I mean, I'm like tired because I didn't really sleep that much, and I woke up early and made pancakes, which weren't that great. I used a sourdough discard pancake recipe and it was too thick. They didn't really cook fully through, so I won't be using that recipe again. But anyways, the point being, like, I feel better like energy wise. So that portal, the 4/4 portal, like cosmic reset for Leos, apparently, like apparently that's what I needed. So I think while I wait for the oven to preheat, once it like beeps that it's done, I usually wait like an extra 20 minutes just to make sure the Dutch oven is like hot, like super hot, you know? And then I'll put my dough in. So I think I'm going to attempt to read a smidge more. I think I'll start with the audiobook maybe if I can find my earphones. Actually, I think they're in my backpack. So I think I'll start with the audiobook because I have 2 chapters left of this. One is like a 2-hour chapter and one is like a 20-minute chapter. So I think I'll start with that, and then I can always read some of this later. Also, my son, saw that I had these 2 books like off of my shelves, obviously, because I'm currently reading them, and he got so excited yesterday because both of them are named Rachel, and he was like, oh, Rachel and Rachel, they spell it just like you, and it was so cute. But yeah, it's funny because like I didn't plan on reading literally 2 authors with my same name this month, but here we are. So I'm gonna go. This has been quite a long update as usual because I am a certified yapper. I actually didn't play any Pokemon last night because I read that I finished reading that chapter of One Dark Window, and then I did in fact doom scroll. I probably could have read like chapter 4 and been even farther today when I woke up this morning. Yeah, chapter 4 wasn't even that long. I probably could have just read it last night, but I was doom scrolling. But let's check. I did put the time limit on Instagram yesterday. So I want to check my screen time because remember on Thursday it was like, how do I go to the individual day? I don't remember how to look at this. Oh, there we go. Yeah, because Thursday it was 12 hours and then Instagram specifically on Thursday was 8 hours and 11 minutes. Okay, so let's check Friday. I went from 12 and a half hours. Friday I had 8 hours and 11 minutes. And Instagram was 3 hours, but that's way better than it being 8 hours like it was the other day. Today, so far, I have spent Instagram. I have had 51 minutes on Instagram, which isn't great because it's only 10:48 in the morning. But I'm going to try really hard to stick to that from now on. I'm also going to up the limit to 1 hour just so it's an even 1 hour. Okay. So, and then I also had another limit inside of the Instagram app itself that was set for 2 hours, that was set for 2.5 hours. So now I only have the Apple one, which is set for 1 hour. So instead of having the 2.5 hour limit on Instagram and a 45-minute hour on Apple limit, now I have deleted the Instagram one and I just have 1 hour. So overall, I did up the Apple one, but I lowered the Instagram one. Does that make sense? But I'm already basically at my limit for today. So I'm going to try really hard to ignore my phone. Maybe if I turn Instagram notifications off too, that would help. Like I want the badge to still be there, but I don't want it to make noise and like show on the lock screen, you know? So maybe I could fix that as well because that would definitely help me because I don't need to be hearing Instagram. Because if people really need me, like you can just reach me on Discord, I guess. The people who matter anyways. But yeah, certified blabber is going to shut the fuck up now and go read while I wait for my oven to preheat. Okay, officially coming to tell you that I have finished Night Bitch, and overall, I thought this was so like pertinent, just super like relatable as a mother. I had an awful time in pregnancy and postpartum, and this really highlights that like rage you kind of feel. It also is a really great like metaphor for losing yourself to your motherly role and how that kind of becomes all consuming and you feel this societal guilt for wanting to do anything other than be a mother. Even something simple like, you know, having a night off of doing bedtime or you know, like I have my own office here, my library, my like office game room, library, music room, like this is my space. And, you know, if this was like 2 or 3 years ago, I would have felt awful for having like a place where I can go have quiet time and be alone away from my husband and son. But it just really is like so like raw and visceral in that motherhood experience. I really thought it was great. Honestly, I just thought it was great. The very last chapter though is like a shorter chapter and it is kind of in vein of an epilogue-ish type of situation because I think that the second to last chapter that was like the 2 hour one I was talking about earlier, I think the way that one ended honestly was like I feel like we could have ended it there. Honestly, the last chapter was a little bit draggy. She kind of goes off and it's like near the end of the penultimate chapter when where I feel like it should have ended. Near the end of that chapter, she kind of wraps up her feelings about everything that's happened in the book and she kind of like reconciles with her husband. I mean, they weren't really fighting, but like in her own mind, she was resenting him and feeling animosity towards him because he got to go off and like go to a job and have adult thoughts and adult conversations and be his own person at work. And, you know, he exists outside the family unit. And she was like resenting that and feeling, you know, feeling a type of way about that. And as she goes through this experience of becoming a dog, she gains more confidence in herself. And so then she just starts asking him to do things that she wouldn't normally ask. Like he comes home one day and she's like, "Hey, you're doing bedtime tonight. I need a night off." And he like meets that with like respect and agreement. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. And she's like, oh, literally I could have just asked him this whole time. That's crazy. But like, you know, obviously she didn't have the courage, or she didn't feel like she could ask him because she was feeling that mom guilt. But then so it kind of, and there's this like cute little scene where they kind of like reconcile, and it's it's like a very good like summation of the book, and it's a good conclusion of the book. And then she talks about how, like, she said, from that moment on, like, I started having nights, like weeknights to myself. Like, he would come home, you know, after dinner, he's in charge of bedtime. I would relocate myself to my office. Is that a real word? Relocate? I think I said relocate, but what I meant to say was relocate. I would relocate myself to my office, and that would be like my alone time. And she was saying how like she would fall asleep in there and then sleep in there sometimes. And she would just tell her husband, like, no hard feelings, but like sometimes I just need to be a fucking alone, which is so relatable. But then, so like after that, it kind of like, you know, it's like, oh, like, like it feels like a happy ending moment. Happy, it's not really happy, but like it kind of just feels like a good like springboard point for like the story to end, but you can kind of like see in your head where it would go. And then the next chapter starts, and it's like this last chapter, and it is kind of an epilogue, even though it doesn't say epilogue. The chapters don't have chapter titles. They don't even have chapter numbers. I don't know. Yeah, it kind of is her like going onto a stage and performing, and then she's having this really long drawn out internal monologue about like the anonymity of being on the stage, and the people in the audience don't know she's a night bitch, and blah blah blah. And like, I don't know, I feel like we honestly didn't need that. Like, I could have just stopped at the start of that chapter and just not read it, and I would have given the book 5 stars. But because that last chapter just was being like a little bit too much of a drag, and a little bit too convoluted, and a little bit like a little too, I feel like in the nature of this story, and a little bit of an open-ended ending would have been fine. Like, it would have been great. And I just don't think we needed that final exposition. But that being said, I'm still going to give it a 4.5 stars, because it is very much like the female experience, you know, the motherhood experience. It's very female ragey. You know, it talks about the patriarchy and, sorry, I'm adjusting you. Talks about the patriarchy and, you know, societal pressures, blah, 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 all that good stuff. Like, I really loved it, and I really related to it. And I even like teared up a little bit. There was one part in here where she was talking about, what is it? I wrote it down. Let me, I texted somebody. I texted Inez about it. So let me see, because I can't remember now what it was I just said. Oh, okay. I started to tear up a little bit at the part where she is basically saying that when she became a mother, she stopped working. And then she says, well, that's actually not true. I actually got a job that was more work than I've ever had before. But now, instead of making money, I make negative money. And society puts all this pressure on stay-at-home moms to be the perfect caregiver. The house needs to be clean. Food, you know, hot meals need to be ready at the end of the day for your husband when he comes home, or your partner when they come home. And, you know, like, just how stay-at-home moms have to be a certain way, or society like says they're not a good stay-at-home mom. But then at the same time, society is also like, oh, well, you don't make money, you're not like, you know, you don't make money, you don't contribute to the family unit. But like, literally, stay-at-home moms hold the family unit together. The value of a stay-at-home mom, I think, is something like $180,000 a year, which is literally a lot of money. And I just started like, I didn't like full on sob, but I just got a little misty eyed, because I was like, I have had so many like internalized guilty moments about like being a stay-at-home mom for the longest time. And, you know, obviously I like make videos on YouTube now, and I am monetized on YouTube. I don't know if some of you know that. The ads you watch, I get a small piece of those. If you watch them, thanks. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's like I'm trying my hardest to like find like a place where I can be myself and not just be a mother, which is one of the main reasons I started YouTube. I was feeling kind of lonely. My husband had been deployed, and I was feeling just lonely in like my sense of self. Like, I didn't feel like anything other than a mother at that time. So I wanted to, you know, take this hobby, which is reading, and make it social for me, and kind of find this place where I could like fit in the world, you know? And so I've had the very lucky and grateful opportunity to monetize this channel. And like for the longest time, I was like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough because I'm a stay-at-home mom. Like, who cares about me? Like, I don't know. If it was just very relatable. Basically, when she was talking about devaluing herself and any like skills or value that she brought to the family was just kind of like pushed to the side and didn't really matter. So it was really good. I super loved it. Thank you, Inez, for the recommendation. I do think I will reread this. Probably not right away. Like not immediately. I am not really like a back-to-back rereader. I don't do that often. I've maybe done it once. I've maybe done it once in my life. But I think once I've had some distance from it and I want to feel that female rage again, I will for sure be coming back to annotate this copy. I listened to it on audio, so obviously I wasn't annotating, but there were just a lot of great discussions in here. There's so much nuance. Yeah. Also, I will say if you read this, like trigger warning for a dead pet, okay? Just trigger warning for a pet dying on the page. Okay, just want to put that out there. And it is a cat, I will say. There are some people I know very specifically who will not read cats dying. So I just wanted to make sure I point that out. Other than that, I loved it. And I think maybe I would appreciate the like weird epilogue ending upon a reread. But like for my first read, for like a first impression, I kind of was like, I don't get the point of this last chapter. I mean, yeah, I don't know. But maybe I would get that last chapter a little more if I reread it. But that won't be anytime soon. Maybe later this year or early next year for sure. So that being said, that means that's 238 pages and I started on 167, 238, 167, 238, 167. Oh my God, it's so hard to have a fucking pea brain. 238 minus 167. So I've read 71 pages already today, which is fantastic. It's 2:03, as you saw. And I have my eye doctor's appointment at 2:50. So we're probably going to leave here shortly. I am showered and clean, have my Banoffee shirt on. So I hope whoever does my eyes is a fan of Bridgerton, because otherwise I'm just going to look like a weirdo. But I'm really excited to go pick out some glasses. That'll probably take us till dinner time, honestly, because it's like right about 3 that it's at, and then I have to do the appointment itself, and then I have to take the time to pick out glasses, which usually takes me like 30 to 40 minutes because I don't exactly love my own face. So it's hard for me to pick glasses that I feel like look nice on a face I don't enjoy. That's not me fishing for compliments, but it's fine. Okay, it's fine. It'll take me a little while to find a pair that I feel like fits the face I'm looking at, So, I am going to read more of One Dark Window tonight. I will say it's feeling slow, and I feel like a lot of people are obsessed with it, and I want to be obsessed with it so bad. I want to love it. I don't want to be a hater. I want to love what everybody else loves. Okay, I don't want to be a hater. And I'm not hating it, but I'm not that far in yet, and also like the intrigue to pick it back up is not exactly there yet. The only thing like keeping me wanting to actually pick it back up is those tarot cards, or Providence cards, I think they're called. Like those seem so cool, and I just really hope we get more of that throughout the book. I'm sure we will, because there's little chapter headers at the start of each chapter, and it's like a picture of the card, and each card kind of has like a riddle or a poem on it, and so those keep popping back up, which is nice. And the monster inside of her head, the nightmare, I guess he's called, he also speaks in riddles most of the time, and I feel like that's pretty cool. Those are like the only 2 pieces I am kind of attached to at the moment, although I will say we also learned some lore about the Shepherd King that was kind of cool. So it's like, I feel like it has potential. Okay, it has potential, but it is just, I don't know if it's the writing style maybe that's making it feel like slow to get going, because it's first person maybe. I'm gonna keep trying. I feel like if I can push through this beginning bit, once I get more into the meat of the plot, then I'll like it better. Hopefully. We'll see. I also have a really bad headache, but I'm gonna go hang out with my family and make sure that my husband and son are ready to leave shortly for my eye appointment, and then probably update you after Riley goes to bed tonight. I think I'm going to play Pokopia tonight, though, because I've already read so much today. So I should be able to squeeze in some. Say hey, buddy. Say hi. Say hello. Can I sit next to mommy to your toy? Let me throw it. Do you want me to throw it? Okay, hello. It is Sunday afternoon. It's Easter. We're not super big Easter people in this family, but we spent the morning. I did give Riley a couple of presents, but it was nothing crazy. I gave him some books and some like Spider-Man chapstick. And he read a little bit out loud to me. He read his Dogman comic book to me out loud that I got him. And then we all just kind of played Sorry for a little bit. I've been running some laundry and whatnot. But as of right now, Kyle and Riley are at the movies, and they also went to the park after lunch together because I spent so much time with Riley in March when Kyle was gone, and then Kyle has to work tomorrow, so me and Riley will get to spend the day tomorrow together as well because Riley has no school on Monday. But I am now on page 52 of One Dark Window. I think I only read one more chapter last night. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I don't know why, but I'm either just not in the mood for this or like maybe it's not for me. I'm not hating it. Like, I don't think it's bad, but unfortunately, I'm not loving it. But because it's for the readathon, like, I don't think I can swap it for another book. I think I need to have points to buy a scroll to be able to do that. So I do kind of have to force myself to read this one, apparently. So I'm just going to try to keep trucking. I do believe that I hit the 77 page goal for yesterday because I finished up Night Bitch and then read one chapter of this. So I think I hit the 77 page goal for yesterday, but I do still think I'm behind overall, but I got to check real quick my math. So I need to have read 308 pages before today. I haven't read anything yet today because we spent the morning together doing family time, bonding. We played Sorry and all bonded over the fact that we kept getting angry at each other for having to go back to the start. But yeah, let's subtract the 51 pages. Subtract 51 pages from 308. That's for what I've read in One Dark Window so far. Okay, so I'm only 19 pages behind my daily goal so far. So if I want to hit the goal today and also make up for what I'm behind on, I need to read 96 pages today, which is super doable. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my reread of Strange the Dreamer because this is literally my favorite book of all time. I know that I'll read it quickly. I do have a pen in case I want to annotate anything. I'm not going to put any more tabs because, like, let's be honest, it's got like hundreds of them already. But I am going to just keep a pen on hand in case I want to note anything down. Also, look how cute my Strange the Dreamer bookmark is. Actually, wait, this is kind of spoilery. So I just lied to you. I was going to show you this bookmark because it's Strange the Dreamer, but some of it is spoilery. I can show you the top one. Look how cute. Look how cute they are. But that's all I can show you because it's kind of like a comic strip and some of the other squares are spoilery, so sorry about that. But I think since the boys are not here at the moment, I did spend like a little bit of time playing some Pokemon, but I wasn't playing Pokopia. I was playing Pokemon Snap. My husband got it on the Switch 1 because he just wanted to play it with Riley, and I was curious how it ran on the Switch 2 because it's kind of awful on the Switch 1. So I played like 30 minutes of it just to see how it was, and it was fine. It's cute. Might play it sometimes if I'm listening to an audiobook because it's kind of like a no-brain game. But yeah, I'm going to start my reread of that, and then I'll finally also fully start The Gate of the Feral Gods. That's my goal for today. Now, I'm wondering to myself, like, am I going to finish One Dark Window in April? Because like I said, it's kind of a little rough. I'm like intrigued in the magic system, but there is something about this writing style that, like, I don't know, it's very clunky. The writing is very clunky. I do like the tarot card thing, the Providence card thing. I think that the monster in her head speaking in riddles is like kind of cool. There is kind of an aspect with the cards that's going on with like the cards and the political nature of them that's like interesting. But I really can't lie to you, the writing is just a little clunky. Also, I feel like you're like super far away. Okay, is that better? I don't know. It's just the writing, honestly. I think that's the problem. And I don't even think it's because it's first person. But I just think that, I don't know, the writing feels really jarring. It takes me so long to read one chapter. And it's not that I'm hating the plot. Like I said, the characters are even fine. Like I don't have an opinion on them yet, but I just think it actually might be the writing style, which is really unfortunate. So I'm going to see how many chapters are here. Chapter 35, and I've read 4 of them. So I have 31 chapters left to go. Today is the 5th day of a month with only 30 days in it. I could try to read at least 1 chapter a day for a little bit, just to kind of like keep trucking along alongside my other reads. But I'm also like, that's not enough. If I only read 1 chapter a day, I'm not going to finish by the end of April. So at least a couple of those days, I'm going to have to read like 2 or 3 chapters. And then if I miss a day, or if I don't read at all because, we have family coming in the middle of the month, I'm really just setting myself up for failure. I'm stressed. I don't want to fail the readathon. I want to do it. But I think since I'm just not in the vibe of this right now, I want to like it. I really do. I want to be part of everybody who likes it. But unfortunately, I'm not. But I think I'm just going to read this, start my reread of this while the boys are at the movie. Waffle's just over there on the couch. Looks like he's ready for a snooze, which is perfect for me at the moment. So I'm going to start this and then just go from there, I guess. I don't know if I'll read any more of One Dark Window today. But this is also going to be the last day of the vlog. So I think I'm just going to hang out here on the couch and read for a little bit. I will update you whenever I have an update. I feel like the next time you see me will be like the wrap up of this vlog. And I'll make sure to kind of give like a page total and then show you my progress bars in my binder. I think that could be fun because I haven't filled them out yet. So I'll do it later tonight. But I don't want to waste my silence time any longer, so I'll talk to you later. All right, I just want to let it be known that I'm on page 17 and I'm already crying. There's something about this book that gets me every time. I need to read you this paragraph. It's not spoilery, so if you haven't read it yet, you can still listen. That was what they meant when they called him a dreamer, and they weren't wrong, but they missed the main point. Laszlo was a dreamer in more profound a way than they knew. That is to say, he had a dream, a guiding and abiding one. So much a part of him, it was like a second soul inside his skin. The landscape of his mind was all given over to it. It was a deep and ravishing landscape, and a daring and magnificent dream. Too daring, too magnificent for the likes of him. He knew that, but the dream chooses the dreamer, not the other way around. And I love that. Basically, he's saying that he has dreams of adventure and fairy tales and quests, but he doesn't think that he's ever going to achieve that because he's just not good enough. Too daring and too magnificent for the likes of him. So I'm on page 17. I'm already going to cry. I already know this is going to make me cry a million times. Also, right before that is another beautiful quote. He drifted about with his head full of myths, always at least half lost in some other land of story. Demons and wingsmiths, seraphim and spirits, he loved it all. He believed in magic like a child and in ghosts like a peasant. I will be crying my way through this reread, and because I'm vlogging it for Magical Readathon, you'll get to see it. You're welcome. I'm once again crying about Strange Dreamer. I'm on page 21. Master Hurricane sighed. I miss the days when you lived in fear of me, however short-lived they were. Laszlo laughed. You had the monks to thank for those. They taught me to fear my elders. You taught me not to, and for that I'll always be grateful. I can't do this. I cannot do this. I love this book so much. It hurts. It hurts me to reread it. Look at my face. I'm not okay. I have like 500 more pages of this. I'm not gonna make it. So as you can see, here I'm 17% into Strange the Dreamer. I have completely finished Night Bitch for restoration class, and I am 15% into One Dark Window. Now, I did add up all of the pages that I've read so far this week, as well as the amount of pages that I want to read, like the goal for the day. So I want to read 77 pages per day, and it's the end of day 5. So I need to have read 385 pages by today to be on track for my reading goal this month. And I am happy to say that even though I'm behind, I am only behind by 5 pages. I think my calculations are correct. Editing Rachel will adjust if that's wrong, but I'm within, like, I want to say I'm within 5 to 10 pages of actually meeting that goal. And I am flopping Strange the Dreamer between physical and audio, and I'll be able to get a lot of reading done with that on audio because I've read it so many times that even though I don't normally love to listen to fantasy on audio, it is a fantasy I've read a million times and I can easily understand what's going on when listening to it on audio. So I've updated my binder. I'm really happy with the progress I made this week, especially considering one, the week started on a Wednesday, and two, my son has a 4-day weekend. He also has tomorrow off for Easter, and then my husband also had a 3-day weekend. So everybody was home Friday, and I didn't get as far into my books as I wanted to on Friday. And then, of course, today was Easter, so I didn't even start reading until like 2 p.m. today because I spent a lot of time just hanging out with them and bumming around the house and playing some board games this morning. So I think, like, honestly, for how chaotic this last like 3 days was, because everybody's been home, I think I managed a lot of reading. And as of right now, I'm gonna go play Pokemon Pokopia in bed, and my husband is in there and he's playing Pokemon Snap. So we're just gonna go play Pokemon and hang out next to each other and be little nerds. And I will see you in next week's vlog. Bye.